What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. I am inside. It is too hot to be out there. I was shooting yesterday and I was going to do this video and I was just soaked in sweat and I was like, it's not worth it. So we're inside. My voice volume is down. I don't want to yell in here and get a bunch of echoes, but I'm just naturally a loud person, especially only having one ear. So I got to kind of keep the volume down so we don't screw up this audio. But this video is about my Trigger Tech failure. And before we get this started, folks, I don't want people to think that this is some type of bashing video. If you want that type of drama, I'm sure there's somebody else out there on YouTube sharing that type of drama. I'm not that type of person. I just want to talk about the experience that I had with Trigger Tech as far as getting, as far as communication and getting the issue resolved. That's what this video is about. So, as you know, I was on a hunt with my boy Joey and his son Carson. We was in front of a group of pigs. We was doing our countdown. I pulled the trigger. There was nothing there. It was just mush. I sat there pulling that bolt back 18 to 20 times. And I mean, I was getting physical with it. Finally, the trigger reset. I was able to shoot a solo bore minutes later. But my confidence was out the door. So the next day, I started taking that rifle apart. I pulled that trigger out. I inspected it, trying to make sure everything checked out. I just set it to the side. I immediately contacted Trigger Tech. Trigger Tech was, they responded pretty damn quick. And I was on the phone with an individual named Ryan. I don't know if Ryan's cool with me talking about him, but I'm gonna do it anyway, all right? And I was on the phone with Ryan. We talked for a pretty good minute about my entire setup, from the suppressor to the barrel to the action to the chassis to the ammunition, and everything checked out. Finally, he asked, where did you get the trigger? And I said, I got the trigger out of my Badger M134. The reason why I pulled my trigger out of the Badger M134 is, one, it was curved, and two, it was matte. It was a matte finish. I wanted a black flat trigger in that rifle. I shot that trigger maybe 20, 30 times before I pulled it out, set it to the side, and I was like, you know what, it'd be a donor trigger, you know, another bill comes up, I'll use it in there and save myself a little bit of money. That happened with the 223 build, and I did have a misfire previously to this, not a misfire, but it didn't reset about a week prior to this, and I didn't think anything of it. I kind of ignored it. But it worked just fine after that, and then it happened and it wouldn't reset. So he said, oh wow, Badger M134. He says, do you have the serial number or model? Folks, there was no model number on this trigger. It was just a T. It was Trigger Tech's logo. And he said, is the serial number handwritten? Is it hand engraved? And I said, yes. And he says, wow. He says, that is a dinosaur. And I read off the initials and the serial number, and folks, the serial number was 042. 042, that's what it was. And he says, that is an old trigger. I didn't really get in depth with him about when that trigger was produced, but manufactured, but I'm gonna assume somewhere around 2012. Badger started building their M134s around 2013, so I think that time frame kind of adds up, and we was able to pinpoint the issue with that trigger, that specific trigger. He wanted me to do an RMA, so we did an RMA, and I was able to ship it in. It took about a week for it to get to their facility. And almost immediately when they got it, he got a confirmation that they received it. And he says, man, we're gonna upgrade you on triggers. So I got a trigger replacement, and I'm pretty stoked about this, but I got a Trigger Tech Diamond, and this is a really badass trigger. This is my second Diamond. Almost all the other Trigger Techs that I have are specials, but this is a really nice trigger with no bolt release, because I run a lot of but American Rifle Company. The Impact Actions and the Badger M134 doesn't have it has a different type of bolt release, so you don't have to have the bolt release on the trigger. So super stoked about this. It's curved, it's all good, but it's black. So I'm super stoked about that. But that was a nice upgrade for them. From them. Folks, I want y'all to know that I'm not sponsored by Trigger Tech. They have never sent me a Trigger Tech before for free. I've always purchased their triggers, and some of my rifle builds have come with Trigger Tech. So they didn't treat me special. They didn't treat me a special way. They treated me probably just like they treat all their other customers. So this was a really cool experience, guys, because not every company is like that out there, unfortunately. I called them respectfully. I didn't pick up the phone cussing them out and demanding a free trigger and blah, 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 and just being rude. I called them respectfully, and I gave them a chance to make this right, and they did. I couldn't ask for anything else, you know. It was like, this is how I wanted it to go down, and I really didn't expect to get an upgrade like that. You know, I was expecting just another trigger, you know, their lower model trigger, you know, but I got a freaking diamond, so I'm pretty stoked about that. But folks, I've had failures in the past. I've had failures with other triggers. I've had failures with scopes. I've had failures with thermals. I've had failures with rifles, and about 90% of them handled it the way I wanted it to be handled, and the 10% were just shitty ass companies, and I'm never going to deal with them again. And guys, if you just give them an opportunity to make it right, I think that's what matters the most. And if they don't make it right, guess what? You have every right to go on any forum and go on your social media platforms and rip into them, but give them a chance to make it right. Great experience from Trigger Tech, and I can tell you guys right now, I'm always going to move forward with their triggers and my bolt actions just because I'm so familiar with the feel. A lot of it has to do with feel. It's the same way with my AR triggers. I run a lot of CMCs in my ARs because I'm really comfortable with the feel, and I like to stay that way across the board with my guns. I don't want to have a difference in feel, two-stage here and a one-stage there, and a two-stage there and a one-stage in my bolt guns. I don't want that. I want the same feel across the board. So I'm going to continue to move forward with their triggers. They make great stuff. If you know anything about the bolt gun scene, especially in the PRS, there's a lot of guys out there running Trigger Techs, man. It's there. There's a lot of great other companies out there as well too, but they're very popular in the bolt gun scene. So I'm going to continue to use their stuff, man. And this right here just really put a big smile on my face, because you should stand behind your product. You make a good product, you should have good customer service. Folks, we have a few projects going on right now. I'm trying to get the content together for you guys. Unfortunately, with this heat, it's just been really hard. Things have been really slow as far as hunting, but I'm trying my best. Right now, we are playing with the Hybrid 50 as a clip-on in front of the Razor 1 to 10. This is the green rig that I did a YouTube video on, and boy, did I get some people triggered in the comment section with that. Called it a DMR, and they were correcting me left and right. It's an SPR, I totally get it, but I still call it my designated marksman's rifle because I feel like a marksman when I shoot this thing, okay? Super cool setup here. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between suppressors right now, trying to figure out what's going to give me the best feel, but with the titanium can, this rifle still only weighs 12.5 pounds. That's extremely light with all this heavy stuff up here on top, okay? I know some folks are looking at this and like, man, that is a lot of damn optic up there, but folks want to know how the Hybrid 50 works as a clip-on, man. With the Razor 1 to 10, I can tell you guys right now, this is one hell of a setup. I'm not going to get into it here with this video, but I'm telling you guys right now, out of all the clip-ons that I've played with in the past, this one here is by far the best one. And I'm just being honest with you, I was actually shitting on this optic as a clip-on before I even tried it, and it put a sock in my mouth. So we're definitely going to talk about this later. All right, folks, enough of me talking. I say this every time at the end of my videos, but folks, I really do appreciate you sticking around and listening to me. I know a lot of folks really want that short stuff all the time, and it's hard to do that with the amount of content and experience that we get in the field and these failures and these badass setups and all. It's just extremely hard to make videos short, but I'm trying my best to cut it down, okay? I think this one here is probably gonna be under 10 minutes, I don't know. But folks, I really do appreciate you sticking around. I appreciate all the support, and I will see you guys in the next video.